Hello, this is Greg Gilligan, Superintendent of Schools. Welcome to the January segment of the Journal, where I'm going to talk about the 2020 fiscal year budget. But before we get started with that, I would like to congratulate our town manager, Mr. Andrew Mailer, on his new appointment to be the independent comptroller for the entire state of Massachusetts, appointed by Governor Baker. I'm truly going to miss his collaborative nature, his creativity, his input, and I'll miss him being a strategic partner with the schools. I know that as Andrew's participation and help with this budget has been valuable to me, under the years he's been here, our schools have definitely benefited from his leadership. So thank you, Andrew, and good luck. Secondly, today I want to talk a little bit about the FY20 budget presentation, which will be voted on by school committee coming up on the 31st of January, Thursday at 566 Main Street. So the costs this year, or the increases that we have proposed, are approximately 0.76% of our 3.75% increased budget. So level services this year carried over, take up just about 3% of the budget going into next year, which gives us 0.75 to actually work with in terms of trying to start to attack some of the areas highlighted in my entry plan where I met with over 1,130 people or surveyed, and then secondly, trying to continue to strive to meet the goals set out in the strategic plan that we approved last June 21st at school committee, and that has really been what we're striving to do in terms of all students, professional practice, and consistent and rigorous curriculum as the three main objectives. So the increases this year are all the level services plus the 0.75%. Level services include all of the current special education programs with the exception of a first-year SEL program at the elementary level. While this program has not yet produced anticipated cost savings, we believe this program will be beneficial to our students and will produce future cost savings in the long run. For this reason, the town manager, Andrew Mailer, has agreed to fund this program for fiscal year 2020 to the tune of $120,000. During this time, we'll continue to evaluate the viability of this program for inclusion in future budgets. So the proposed increases that we feel necessary to continue to make progress towards the strategic plan, as well as taking into consideration some of the things highlighted during my entry, are as follows. I would like to say that I really appreciated the community coming out to talk about the strengths of the communities, areas and opportunities for us to grow. And I also want to thank our leadership team who spent countless hours working to put this budget together in a manner where they not only advocate for their individual schools, but as we look at North Andover as a district as a whole from pre-K through 22. So during that process, we worked collaboratively to look at, positions that we wanted to add that were desirable for improvement, and what were other positions that were absolutely essential. And this spring we'll continue to evaluate all of our current programming so that we can make decisions that are best for our students in the future. The first proposed increase for the new positions for fiscal year 20 is a high school nurse. Up until this year, the high school has had two nurses, with one of them has been covered the entire salary on a grant. So it's really essential to actually fund that second nurse through the operating budget at a high school with 1,400 plus students. Secondly, this budget will mark the third in a row that we've worked to continue to reduce class size at the elementary. In this budget, we've proposed the increase of 3 elementary teachers so that we can continue to get to that goal of reducing class size. Reading teacher. We have proposed a half-time reading teacher to provide strategic targeted intervention for students who need those services. Also, besides the reading teacher, we proposed a high school teacher, and that could be a combination of a science and/or math, or a combination of both. One of the things in the entry report that came out from students, parents, and talking to teachers was that, if we have demand or students request particular courses, particularly ones that are honors or AP, we want to have the ability to have kids take those classes that they've gotten into. We don't want to have anyone shut out because the section's too small. So by adding this 1.0 full-time teacher to the high school, gives Principal Jackson the flexibility to look at what those requests are and address some of those needs. Some of them could be a college prep math course, others may be honors math, or it could be AP chemistry. North Andover in this proposal will also add EL support. We're looking to add 12 hours a week, and this is really a big part of the strategic plan we'll be looking at very closely this spring. But as we've increased students who receive English learner services, the increase is necessary. At the middle school, we're asking for $7,500 for programming that help kids, which were traditionally termed at risk. I've seen a new term out there lately. I don't know who's coined it, but they're using the term at hope, and I like that, at hope. So that will allow some programming for kids who may need support in terms of organization, in terms of mentorship, and it's been very successful for us, and it's important that we add that money in for next year. As many of you know, that we have 2 co-principals at the Bradstreet School this year, and Dr. Rogers was one of the co-principals, and she was 80%. Dr. Rogers did a tremendous job. We really appreciate all of her hard work, but she's going to be moving on, and we've added $22,000 to the budget so that we can hire a full-time campus principal, as well as keep the other full-time position in terms of special education, leadership in the building, early intervention, etc. And last but not least in the proposal is the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, one of the oldest accrediting associations in America that accredit high schools and colleges. We're on our 10-year visit for reaccreditation, and $20,000 is in the budget because those are the costs associated with having this review, which will serve as a blueprint for how we move forward with the high school and how that's part of the strategic plan. Because what NEASC does is they'll produce a report that has recommendations and commendations. So overall, we're proposing an increase of 5.7 full-time employees in the district, and that increase is at $370,000, $370,800. So I encourage folks to come out to the budget meeting for final approval by the school board Thursday, January 31st, and I really encourage folks to participate in town meeting as we continue to move forward. Thanks for listening, and Happy New Year and best wishes for another year of good health and happiness. Take care.